Hello, this is Fear Dragon, and welcome to Breaking Out, the show about North American StarCraft 2 players. Here on this show, we spend 1 week highlighting an up-and-coming North American player. Throughout the week, we find out more about the player's history, their personality, and their playstyle over the course of 6 short episodes. On Monday, we'll interview the player and find out more about them. Tuesday through Thursday, we'll watch a game from each of the various matchups casted by your very own Fear Dragon. On Friday, we'll check out a generally awesome game with some sick play, and on Saturday, we'll kick it back with the player and have some wacky fun with some randomly selected events like handicap ladder matches, karaoke, and dance contests. Each episode aims to be about 20 to 30 minutes long, so you can learn more about the North American StarCraft 2 scene without interrupting your busy WCS schedule. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the show. Hello, this is Fear Dragon, and welcome to another episode of Breaking Out, the show about North American StarCraft 2 players that you need to know about. This week, we have ROOTBones' captain is going to be Bones, and today, actually, I'm joined here with my co-commentator, Boisterous SA2. How you doing tonight, dude?
It's great. I'm doing great. Being back with Team Chair Couch, Red Sox are in the World Series. It's gonna be fantastic.
Team Chair Couch, the casting commentary crew that you can always easily pronounce. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in and introduce the players of this game as we spawn up here in the top left-hand corner on top of the green Protoss player. He's the highlight player of the week, and representing Root Seed Academy is the captain. It is ROOTBones' Bones.
And spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. It's going to be our blue Protoss player, FXO's Choya.
FXO Choya, I don't know if he still is, but he at least used to be the captain of FXO. Is he still the captain of FXO?
1 second, fact checking.
While you do that.
This is professional, high-level commentary now.
This is at least a semi-old captain versus a current captain of a very, very new team. So this is a captain versus captain match right now, man. It's a PvP, and should be pretty exciting, but... You know, while you're doing that fact-checking, please just chime in whenever you find out the answer to that.
Definitely the captain.
Definitely the captain still.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a captain versus captain match. But a little bit of notes about Bones. He has actually talked a little bit about PvP in his interview, and just throughout the rest of the games, you can tell Bones is a super-duper defensive player. He's very equatable to an American SK Telecom 1 Rain, for those of you who know that Korean player. Plays super safe, super defensive, and plays for that long style macro game. Not afraid to give up a couple of advantages early on because he's just that good later on.
Yeah, and I can definitely see those macro tendrils just starting out right now. He has both of his assimilators already and has 3 workers on both of them. That's some fast gas.
Yeah, that's actually indicating to me that he wants to go a little bit tech heavy right now, and I'm curious if he's going to be dropping down that Twilight Council anytime soon. I mean, the cybernetic score is going to be finishing up, and we have a probe already moving out across the map, but what exactly is Choya up to right now?
Choya looks to be up to pretty similar things. The cybernetics core is a little bit faster. We are going to have a second gateway down and on the way. His warp gate has started, so he will be... I think he's in a position to be a little bit more aggressive in the early to mid game. He probably can go for a 3-gate attack if he really wants to. Now, of course, Bones is taking a very defensive posture. He already has sentries warping in. So I don't think he'll really be caught off guard by this. But, you know, if Choya plays his cards right, he could definitely get a little bit of pressure in.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And it's exactly as you said. The sentries also kind of indicating that he's being a little bit defensive. And that might explain why he's getting those super early guys on gas. I mean, you sacrifice the minerals that you could be getting early on to throw down maybe extra gateways or even a nexus early on, but hey, it's safe play, and you get up the sentries and you can throw down your tech.
Yeah, exactly. And we have Choya now just continuing to pump out Stalkers, so I do think this is going to be a little bit of an early pressure build. It looks like he is rallying them onto the Mothership core, so I would not be surprised to see him just try to take the natural of Bones and just make sure that he can't expand super early on in this game.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be Choyo's plan. I mean, you can even see the third gateway has been thrown down. This is going to be a pretty nice little 3-gateway aggression, and we'll have to see how does Bones respond right now. It looks like he has a Stargate on the way, and he kind of mentioned in his interview that he likes the Stargate tech also because it gives you that extra scouting vision without maybe necessarily having to hallucinate those Phoenix. But how's he going to deal with this aggression? I mean, I'm not even sure if he's going to even have a unit out by the time these stalkers end up poking up that ramp.
Well, I mean, really, he has 2 sentries right now, so he might not be able to hold down his natural, but he can definitely hold the ramp without an issue at all. The real question is, what units does he plan on making with the Stargate? Currently, it looks to be Phoenixes, but that's not going to be a strong choice in the current setup of this game. I mean, these Stalkers are going to be quite dangerous. Maybe if he gets 2 or 3 Phoenixes out, he can lift up a couple Stalkers from Choya and be able to survive and kill off them with his considerably weaker army, but it's still going to be a little bit rough.
Yeah, this is so weird. He's not even using the Phoenix for defense right now. He's actually just sending it straight across the map to scout his opponent's natural expansion. He's just trying to get as much information as possible. How committed is this? And he sees the robotics facility building behind this, but Choya has been unable to really safely move up that ramp. There's still another force field waiting, and he's going to have another one after that in about 3 seconds.
Yeah, he's going to have enough energy to chain together 3 force fields coming up here, maybe a 4th one. And we do have a Void Ray currently in the works, so Bones should be in a pretty confident position now because once that Void Ray comes out, Bones can really just get a nice split off with those force fields, which isn't too hard on a map like Belshir Vestige. And then, it's just an easy mop-up job for any sort of Void Ray work.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you. And the Phoenix comes back in, scouts once again, just confirms the tech again, sees, okay, robotics facility producing everything, and nothing else really following it up behind it, and Choya's going to go ahead and back up. And where exactly does that leave us in this situation? I mean, Choya has a natural expansion down.
Yeah, I think Choya's a little bit further ahead just because he's really picked a route that he wants to go. He's decided to go for a Gateway Robotics Facility army, whereas Bones is kind of more sitting in the middle of a couple of different strategies. I mean, he got that Stargate out first, which was a good choice considering how defensively he had to play. He really kind of needed that Void Ray, but now he's going for the Robotics Facility and Constant Immortals, which is just a little bit strange because his army is going to be, I think it's going to be smaller than Choya's in the long run just because he's been spending so much money on tech.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense right now. And yeah, he has a nice little kind of rounding of units, I suppose. He's going to have more and more Immortals coming out. And again, he has that Void Ray. He's getting another Void Ray, actually. But his army's not going to be able to do too well for at least a little bit. Maybe when we get into like the mid-game stages, it'll be a bit stronger. But I'm still worried because, yeah, his expansion's much later. You can already see Choya can easily throw down his 3rd and 4th gas geysers right now and just really shoot ahead in terms of his tech.
Yeah, but as far as talking about how Bones says he likes to play, I mean, he's definitely playing this out exactly how I would expect someone that likes to play super macro heavy would play it out. I mean, really the macro on Belshir Vestige isn't about getting that 3rd base or isn't about getting the natural first. It's about getting the 3rd. So he just really wanted to get an army that could be super defensive really easily, which, a Void Ray Immortal Sentry composition can do extremely easily without any sort of issue. And now he'll be able to expand out and take that 3rd expansion a little bit faster than his opponent should be able to. I mean, he's scouting out the 3rd base of Choya. He sees that there's nothing there, but I would expect a Nexus to come down from Bones pretty soon.
Yeah, but for now, we're actually going to be seeing the robotics bay, and this actually goes back to what he was mentioning in his interview. I don't know exactly when he's going to be planning to take that 3rd expansion, and I agree with you. I think that he probably will be taking it sometime soon, but he said that he likes to go up to 3 Colossus, and then eventually transition into Storm, and then eventually into late-game Tempest. So I think this is just kind of that first step. He gets up the robotics bay. He has a nice little rounding of Immortals, Void Rays, etc. to deal with any kind of early pushes. And now he can safely get up those Colossus and start transitioning into his late game plan.
Yeah, and actually he's going for 2 photon cannons, 1 in each mineral line. So this guy is super careful.
Yeah.
Like super careful. Wow.
Well, I mean, I think that he has that Phoenix like being super duper active, or it may have actually been taken out by this point, but he's been using Hallucinate Phoenix regardless, and I believe he's actually seen the Twilight Council, so you do always have to be careful about the potential for Dark Templars, and hey man, why take a chance that you don't need to, especially when you trust in your late game play?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it's definitely nice. It's definitely, again, he's playing exactly how I would expect someone that talks like him to play. Just extremely defensively. He does not take any extra risks. If he's like, I'll just spend these 300 minerals and then I can leave with my army and go defend a third base while it gets set up. And I don't need to worry about Dark Templars getting in and killing everything. And it's just very nice to see all this stuff coming down. We do have a Twilight Council finally in production from Bones. He's going up to 3 Colossi right now, actually, queuing it up a little bit, but that's okay. And he's also getting his +1 upgrades at this point.
Yeah, it's also worth noting that Choya has been really, really cranking out those upgrades. I mean, he's already getting his +2 weapons. He's chrono boosting that stuff out, and he's definitely going to have a big upgrade advantage by the time that the first fight probably ends up turning out. But both these players going to be going for that third expansion now. I'm curious, Boisters, who do you think has a better unit composition for a fight that will, if they keep maxing out like this, around 150 supply if they try and engage, who do you think will have the better army?
I mean, at this point, I still think it's going to be Choya. It really depends on how many more Void Rays Bones ends up adding to his composition, and how many more Zealots he ends up adding to his composition.
Yeah.
Like, those 2 units are going to be extremely crucial, because right now, Choya is cranking out Immortals. He has 6 currently, and he's going on 7, and those with +2 upgrades will crush through everything that's not a Zealot or a Void Ray. Like, they'll just destroy everything else. It doesn't even matter. Add that on to the tanking power of the Archon, and it's a very deadly composition.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised that we don't see Charge, coming out for Choya's army. Oftentimes I end up seeing Charge Lot, Archon, Immortal being a really, really strong composition, but hold that thought. Choya's moving out, man.
Just as a side note, Choya already has Charge. He got it like 2 minutes ago.
Oh, did he? Okay,
Yeah,
well then I'm actually just surprised that he doesn't have more Zealots right now, but
Yeah,
I suppose I
guess.
can always be the reinforcing warp in right now.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be his plan. It's definitely easier to reinforce with Zealots than with any other unit, especially when you have Charge for them. And we are going to see this engagement coming down. He will be destroying those rocks, not falling to the folly that we see so many players fall to. And this is a scary army, man. I mean, 6 Immortals, a 7th is walking over, 2 Observers, I think. There's just not a lot of weaknesses in this army.
Yeah, and right now, Bones is in a really weird position. I mean, he's not exactly going to be getting the biggest concave or maybe the most ideal angle from behind those gateways, especially with the Nexus also going to be causing problems. But at the same time, if you look at Choya's composition, I guess he is going to be depending on those Archons getting through, and that will kind of be funneled in. And Choya's just going to sit back, macro up a little bit more, and morph in some more Archons.
Yeah, but it looks like we are going to have the engagement coming in a little bit of a bad angle. I would not have chosen to engage here, but it looks like Choya is going to be going with it. We have 3 Archons actually sitting back and not doing anything, but it does not appear to matter. The army of Bones is actually, wow, it looked like they were melting at first, but now they are actually just standing their ground, and holy crap, this concave from Choya is not impressive enough, and it looks like those Colossi just have too much staying power, and wow, that was not the outcome I was expecting at all.
Boisters, there's a reason why Protoss players get the Colossus Thermo Lance upgrade. It's for that Colossus range, and when they are at that range, and you're going up a ramp through a bit of a choke, even if you have the high ground vision, it's hard to get on top of those Colossus, even with all of those Immortals, and it worked out beautifully right over there for Bones. And with that, I mean, he lost 1 Colossus, but I mean, he's lost actually a lot of his Immortals, but he took out his opponent's entire army. He's bought himself more time, and he's kept alive 2 Colossus and 2 Void Rays.
Yeah, and especially now that we see that Psionic Storm on the way, he's going to have, probably the stronger composition in the future. And honestly, I think Choya made a big mistake by deciding to shove all of his units up that ramp. I really wish he had kind of split off like 2 Immortals and 3 Archons to the side and gone for a flank and trying to take out the Colossus from that side, from like the side of the natural, because that probably could have done a lot better. And when you have Archons, you don't have to worry about force fields at all. They can stomp them. So you can kind of do whatever the hell you want. And really, if he had just moved in and sniped those Colossus, it would have been such a one-sided victory for Choya. Like, it wouldn't have even been close.
That's actually a really, really good point. And we'll have to wait and see if Choya decides to go for something like that in the future, because right now, I mean, he's maxing back out on Charge Lot Archon, and he has +3 weapons. He's getting +1 armor, so he still has a little bit of that upgrade lead, although not quite as much as earlier. But, I mean, he's going to have to hit a timing soon. He cannot allow Bones to just constantly macro up more and more of these high-tech units.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Bones is kind of a crazy amount of High Templar and Archons. He's going to have 4 Storms for this next engagement. And if there's one thing Zealots do not deal well with, it is Storm and Colossus. They don't like that at all. The Archons might fare a little bit better, but as soon as all of these Zealots are dead, it just does not even matter. It looks like we are going to have a massive Archon versus Archon fight right now. Or Zealot versus Zealot fight, excuse me. And wow, there's a lot of Zealots on the field, Fear Dragon. I'm not sure if you noticed.
Yeah, there are an absurd number, but there's actually a Warp Prism over in the main base that's causing more and more Zealots to be warped in, and it looks like the Warp Prism, for the most part, will get cleaned up. Oh god, no, Choya is warping in a massive number more Zealots, and he has the superior upgrades, or he's going to in about 10 seconds. Not quite soon enough.
The amount of Zealots is just blowing my mind. There is absolutely too many Zealots for this game. Wow, it's 29 Zealots versus 26 Fear Dragon. That is absurd. It looks like the warp prisms drop. We'll find. Oh no, never mind. More Zealots. I spoke too soon.
He finally has the armor upgrade advantage now, so now it looks like Bones is going to have to warp in even more Zealots to actually deal with this, and if those Zealots all get taken out, he can start going for the robotics bay, he can start going for the forge, he can start taking out a lot of vital tech structures.
And even as that's happening, we have an engagement going down. 2 beautiful storms falling down on the Zealots. That is going to force them back. But it looks like Choya's army is just unstoppable. So many of these Zealots pouring in. He is up to about 16 Zealots in the main base. We have 2 Archons coming out, 4 Bones. This should be able to do a decent amount of damage, but they do not have a shields upgrade. And they are just melting to those Zealots. The surround going down on the second one. It looks like we are going to have Void Rays finally coming in here and being able to clean it up. But how much more damage will these Zealots be able to do? The answer, Fear Dragon, is a ton. They are going to be sniping out a ton of probes and a ton of pylons and just being generally extremely annoying. I don't think they'll be able to get the Nexus, but that was something by Choya.
Oh man, he's going to depower another 4 of those gateways, or it looks like, or at least 3 of them. And, you know, the Void Rays came out, they were able to actually snipe off the Warp Prism, which was important. But I agree with you, man. He's done so much damage, and Bones has finally started to clean it all up. But I have to say, Choya's bought himself a lot of time. The question is, what did he do with that time?
I'm not seeing a whole ton, Fear Dragon. I mean, he still only has 2 Colossi. He's getting quite a few more Archons, but the issue is that he had to spend so much money and so many resources defending that engagement that all that time that he was buying didn't really do a whole ton other than get the energy on his High Templar, which...
I don't know, Boisterous. He has a lot of Archons right now. Storms are going down in the big engagement. Time Warp also going down for Bones, and geez, there's just so many Storms going on, and actually with the Time Warps in conjunction with that, it looks like he's able to take out a lot of the shields on these Archons, but Choya still has quite a few left over. And DTs are in the mix!
Yeah, and there is absolutely no observers for Choya, so he is going to have to pull his army back, or it is just going to be melting here, and even if he does manage to get away, it is still just going to be getting wrecked by these DTs. So dangerous, and Bones, with a clutch warp in there, just turned the tide of the battle completely. Like, he still would have won that engagement, but it would not have been nearly as decisive without that warp in of 4 Dark Templars.
I definitely have to agree with you, man. You always have to make sure you have your observers ready and with you, and hey, if you can snipe off your opponent's observer, it can work out pretty gosh darn well, man. But Choya still has 4 base income. That means he's getting a lot more Archons and just continuing that charge lot Archon composition. But look at this. We have air weapons going down right now for Bones. And it looks like with double Stargates out, Fleet Beacon out, you could start transitioning into, there it is, the Tempests.
Yeah, and we have a group of Zealots coming down here to the 4th base of Bones, or of Choya, excuse me. It looks like there will be a massive Zealot warp in. God, so many Zealots, Fear Dragon. There's a lot less Zealots than there were in the past, but still a lot of Zealots. Like, just a crazy amount.
Both of these armies have some sort of consensus that they're not going to use too much technology. I mean, even Bones has stopped producing the majority of those Colossus, and he's just kind of secretly breaking the pack with those Tempests. But hold that thought. We're having Zealot by Zealot, run-bys, defended by Zealots, and attacking with more Zealots over here at the natural expansion of Bones.
Yeah, and it looks like Choya might just be able to overrun this. However, we do have 2 Dark Templar on the way. The Observer is here, though, for Choya, so he will be able to snipe this off. And suddenly Bones is in a little bit more of an awkward scenario. There the Tempests get revealed, and Tempests are not especially great versus Zealots. The technology lead kind of fades away at a certain point, and they just become horrible. However, these 2 Photon Cannons, plus another Warpin of Zealots, because what can you do without Zealots is more Zealots. That was a sentence. And yeah, that was That was a sentence, Fear Dragon. I have
It
no
was
idea what
a
I was trying to
sentence.
say. I'm trying to figure myself out.
But something that is worth noting, actually, is that amazingly enough, Bones, by continuing those armor upgrades, where it looks like Choya's kind of stopped those armor upgrades, Bones is taking the upgrade advantage right now, and that could work out really well in his favor. And oh my god, Choya's committing really, really heavily with this army. He's going into the natural expansion. There's going to be no escape. There's no Mothership Core here to recall out.
This is an interesting plan, Fear Dragon. It looks like he is going to have a pylon that might be able to reinforce. However, these time warps and the storms, oh my god, the storms. These Archons do not like the rain, and they are not enjoying themselves right now. It looks like all of those Immortals and a lot of those Archons are going to go down. And I think this might just be the death knell for FXO's Choya, as Bones just takes another huge engagement. And I really don't think Choya has anything left in him as the 4th base is getting cleaned up.
Yeah,
Wow.
GG gets called, and really well played by both of those players. I have to say, and I agree with you, that decision from Choya to actually move into the natural expansion was really, really risky. I mean, I would kind of understand it a little bit better maybe if he had a Mothership Core involved, because then he could maybe recall out after he's done some damage, go straight into the main base, start taking out a bunch of the gateways and the tech structures, and then recall out, and then, you've done a bunch of free damage, but, oh man, it just did not end up working out well. Storms, man, it doesn't matter if you're made of psionic energy. Psionic energy storms still hurt.
I mean, just, storms in general, they're pretty rough. They're not fun. It's been raining for like 4 days constantly here. It's not, I'm not enjoying it. I feel like an Archon. I'm just getting wet, and I think I'm gonna die.
Hey man, there's a reason why Choya does not live in Seattle, where it is always raining, and with that being said, it looks like Root Seeds' Bones gonna win this game, and I believe this was a ladder game. This may have actually been on Korea. I don't know if Choya is actually playing on the North American server. That'd be kind of funny to see, but hey, it was a pretty fun game, and I think it definitely showcased, as we were pointing out so many times, Bones' very defensive and macro-centric playstyle. All right, but with that being said, Boisterous, do you have any closing words, or do you want to, say something in honor of all the zealots that have fallen today? Okay, what is the hotkey for showing how many or all the units that have died? I do not remember this, but I want to show it really badly.
I know there's a units lost tab, but I don't think there is one for like showing you what units have actually died specifically.
No, it exists. It's a recent addition. Damn it, Boisterous. Okay, guys, I have no idea what it.
I think you're wrong. I'm looking in the tab. Is it Control R? No, that's not right.
Oh god, rewinding the replay to the beginning. All right, guys, after that fail, I think we're pretty much gonna call it.
Wow, that was, man. This is next level commentary. For
this is next level.
Next
All right,
level.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Breaking Out, the show about North American StarCraft 2 players. But Boisterous, I just want to say really quickly, go ahead and check out Root Seeds' Bones. I mean, you can't tell it from this point in the game, but he is an immaculate macro Protoss player and super defensive, super awesome to check out. And if you're ever looking to copy a Protoss player, go ahead and check him out. You can check out his stream and all that good stuff either in the Twitch comments or in the Twitch chat or in the YouTube notes just below the video. But Boisterous, where can people catch you at?
If you want to check out any other things I do, you can head on over to youtube.com/boisteroussc2, or you can go ahead and check me out on Twitter at boisteroussc2.
All right, and with that being said, hopefully you guys, if you enjoy this commentary or the video or the series in any capacity, please consider subscribing over here on twitch.tv/FearDragon64 or over here on youtube.com/FearDragon64, whichever one you're watching it on. And episodes are going to be airing continuously Monday through Saturday at 9 p.m. Pacific. And, GSTL has been messing with me. They've keep scheduling everything at the absolute last second and be like, okay, we're going to do it just at the exact time during Breaking Out. So I'm considering moving the time back to 8:30 once again. So if you actually would like to see the show move back to 8:30 Pacific instead of 9 o'clock Pacific, which means if you're on the East Coast, it's at 11:30 Pacific, please let me know in the Twitch comments, the YouTube comments, the Team Liquid thread, wherever. But with that being said, I think we're pretty much going to close it out. So have a wonderful night, guys, and hope to see you all tomorrow.
Bye.